Hello, Dr. Dike Drummond here with the next one of our Burnout Prevention Power Tools videos. And in this video, I'm going to show you the components of a strategy to completely change your relationship with your electronic medical record. Now remember, the EMR and your need to document is actually not a problem, it's a dilemma. And in order to address it, you have to address it with a strategy. Strategy being multiple things that you're going to do at the same time to get the balance that you're looking for. And with EMR, the balance is a balance between the amount of effort it takes in order to create the documentation that you need. So let me give you some components, some things that you can pick and choose from to create your own strategy to get your documentation done way more easily. This is always one of the top 3 stressors that I see in my physician burnout coaching clients. I've coached hundreds of doctors one-on-one, and addressing the way that they deal with their EMR is one of the big things I do with every one of these clients. And it doesn't matter where you are in your organization. I know you have documentation requirements. Watch these components and see which ones might work for you. Step number 1 is to check your attitude, because there's a lot of EMR haters out there. And here's what I mean. If you feel like every time you sit at the keyboard to document that the devil himself in the fires of hell created this program to torture you every keystroke, well, you're not alone, first of all, and it helps you avoid getting your work done. It actually gets in the way of you completing your documentation. You'll delay it till the end of the day and have it all stack up on you. So let me ask you this quick question. Do you really think the EMR is going away? Yeah, you know it's not. So it's time to change your attitude. The only reasonable attitude is to dedicate yourself to becoming a power user, to doing this job as best you can, as quickly as you can, so you can get home. One of the ways to do this is to figure out who's a power user in your organization, maybe even on your team right now. Everybody knows who the power users are. Ask if you can watch them document. Just a half hour watching a power user chart, you'll be able to pick up a half a dozen tips that'll get you home sooner every day. So that's step number 1. Change your attitude from hater to power user. Strategy step number 2 is to always use a minimal data set, meaning document only what you need and nothing more. Now, there's 3 reasons for you to put a note in a chart, just 3. Let's go through them real quickly. 1 is what I'll call continuity, meaning can somebody else pick the chart up and take over where you left off? Continuity, that's 1. Number 2 is to support the billing code. Did you put enough in the chart that you can charge what you charge to this particular insurance company? And the 3rd one is to cover what I'll call your legal part, to make sure that you're covered for any malpractice risk or anything like that. So continuity, billing, cover your legal part. Those are the only 3 reasons to put a note in the chart. So if you're putting something in the chart that doesn't have something to do with one of those 3 things, stop it really quickly. Does it have to be full sentences? Do you have to have perfect punctuation? Does every word have to be spelled correctly? Do you ever need to use the semicolon key? And by the way, the answer to all those questions is no. So document a minimal data set. Do not write the great American novel, right? Are you with me? Only put in there what you have to and no more. That's number 2. Strategy step number 3 is to use the software. And by that I mean that this EMR software was meant to be automated. It's meant to use templates for the frequent things that you document. So let me ask you this. Do you ever find yourself typing away and noticing, oh my gosh, this is the 14th time I've typed this exact note this week? I call that a broken record moment. And what it is a sign that you could put a template right here and get home sooner right away. So what I want you to do is when you think about these broken record moments, write down the list of things that you're documenting that are broken record for you. Make a list of these things. Here's what you do. Once a week, pick one of these broken record moments out of the list and take a half hour to make a template. So real quickly, How many times do you have to make a template? Just once, right? And how long can you use the template for? Forever. So if you template just one of these broken record moments once a week for a month, you'll be getting home sooner, I promise. Number 4 is use your team. See, one of the things I know, and if you remember back to the Burnout Basic video on the causes, one of the things I know is that you were programmed to be a Lone Ranger, a superhero, a perfectionist, a workaholic, right? You're probably doing too much yourself. And what I can tell you is with any given patient, whether you're in the inpatient or outpatient setting, the documentation is team documentation. It doesn't have to be you. Okay, so the team can work to document the team's activities with this patient. And you can start having conversations with the members of your team to see if you can share the load more effectively. Hey, everybody, I'm wanting to see if I can't lower the amount of typing that I'm doing, documentation that I'm doing. What are your thoughts about how we might share this documentation amongst ourselves more equitably so we do a better job and all get home sooner? Ask that question at your next staff meeting and look to share the load with your team. And now here's one that's only possible for a very few people, and that's to use a scribe. Use a scribe, meaning have a person whose job it is to do the documentation while you take care of the patient. Now, most of the times, if you're negotiating with an administrator for a scribe, what you'll tell them is, hey, I could see more patients if I had a scribe. In order to get a scribe, you've got to prove that to an administrator, because an administrator thinks of two things you don't: manpower and money. So this is specifically for physicians or other team leaders that have some budget authority. What you do is you actually hire a scribe and pay for the scribe in a pilot project. And you have your administrator study the number of patients that you saw before the scribe and study the number after the scribe has been incorporated into your team. And what you want to do is prove to your administrator that you're seeing more patients and you're actually seeing enough patients that the extra income can afford to pay for the scribe. And then you claw back, that's what it's called, claw back the payments for the scribe from the extra money that you produced. So that's the last one of my strategy steps for this video. Let's just go through them all one at a time here real quick. 1, check your attitude. If you're a hater, dedicate yourself to being a power user. Everything will be easier, I promise you. 2, minimal data set. Remember the three reasons that you write a chart note? Continuity, billing, cover your legal part. Don't worry about the punctuation or the spelling, okay? 3, use the software. Template everything you can. Take your broken record moments and turn them into templates. You'll get home sooner, just in a couple of weeks. Next, use your team. Open up a conversation with the team about how you can work together as a team to do a better job of documenting. And lastly, if it's appropriate, think about doing a pilot project of bringing your own scribe in and paying for them until you can prove that allows you to see more patients. So that's an example of one strategy for one dilemma that you face. Remember, this whole conversation about how do I lower my stress levels and how do I prevent burnout is about you creating a strategy to lower your stress and prevent burnout in the first place. It's always going to have multiple parts, and that's what all of these Power Tool videos are about. So I'll see you in another one of the Burnout Prevention Power Tools videos real soon. Have a great rest of your day.